What is up? What is up? Welcome to Money Mondays here with Sean and Lacey. This is a BDC production. Super excited to be with you. We already have so many people who have jumped on. Super excited to see this because, for a long time, people asked us if we would go back to doing our weekly lives like we did, or daily lives like we did all through the pandemic. And unfortunately, just due to time constraints in our schedule, our business, just like yours, grew during the pandemic. And we aren't able to commit to daily lives, but we wanted to be committed. Our good friend Joel Weldon sent us this. This says success comes in cans. This is a can of success. Success comes in cans, not in cannots. And so we decided we wanted to commit. We didn't want it to be all just willy-nilly. And so every single week, every Monday at 8:30 Eastern, we are going to come on and host Money Mondays. And we're going to walk you through what's going on with the next crisis. This whole thing, this inflation, the economy, everything that's going on,
whatever they're calling
shrinkflation.
it now. Yeah.
So I want to make sure that jumping on and all throughout tonight, a couple of things. I want to make sure that if you're watching us on YouTube, I need you to hit the subscribe button, and I need you to hit that bell, the notification button. That way you are sure to be notified every single time we go live. And we're going to be dropping tons of content right here on YouTube to help all of you service providers to be able to navigate everything that's coming up ahead. And I'm seeing tons of this recession, inflation, all of these programs that are starting. One, I want to be well ahead of it, as we usually are. We're doing this live. We're not monetizing this. This is free for all of our Black Diamond Club members. And when we can, we're just going to put this out free to the world.
Yeah. And I think that many of you have said you love the idea of this because much like we talked about at Money Matters, you have to exercise discernment about what you feed your mind. And so many of you don't want to have to sit in front of the TV and watch news or read all of the, financial blogs out there or whatever it may be, right? And because you don't want to have to curate all this. So what's great about this is we're going to do that for you. We're going to stay on the up and up. We're going to get all the stuff happening in the past week. And then we're going to be able to consolidate that and talk to you about what's going on. So I know that you guys are excited about that. And remember, this is to empower you to be able to make great decisions for your business and allow you to adapt so that you can grow. Yeah, Sean is playing with.
Don't forget.
Yep.
Inside this drum right here, we have placed the names of all 680 Black Diamond Club members. And we have a very special announcement. Because we're going to teach you about helping people. We taught through the pandemic the idea of benevolence. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to modify that strategy for you guys here tonight for your business. But in that same spirit, at Money Matters, we just concluded, we gave away over $20,000 from the stage. I mean, you guys gotta be at our events because they're super awesome.
Mm-hmm.
We've been abundantly blessed. This is the thing that we want you to understand. We've been abundantly blessed, and the key here, while everybody is hitting the panic button, if you've been abundantly blessed because you've been in BDC, you've been abundantly blessed. You grew your business through the pandemic. Well, now it's time to give it away. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that, right? So Dave Meltzer talks about this. We must become really great receivers. So we receive, we acknowledge, we give gratitude, and we let it go.
We release.
We release it
Receive
so that we
and
can
release.
receive even more back. So look, during this time of the recession, we released already $20,000 over the weekend. We released it freely. We are going to be giving not $100, but we're going to be starting this journey with a $300 prize. That means we're going to draw tonight. Tristan Schaub is going to be our official drawer tonight. We're always going to have a special person drawing names.
Yep.
Tonight, Tristan Schaub is going to be drawing 3 names from this canister.
Unless somebody wins the first time.
And if you are with us live and we call your name, you have to be actually on this live, and you're going to have to respond.
You better say I'm
You're
here.
going to have
I'm
to.
here.
We're going to give you a code word. No, we're going to give you a code word. We're going to give you a code word. You're going to respond with the code word. You're going to have 60 seconds to respond.
Ooh.
If you miss that, then we go to the next name and the next name. Now, if nobody wins this week, if we call 3 names and nobody is present, the next week we're going to add another 100 and it'll be 400 and we'll draw 4 names. And then if nobody wins that week, we'll keep adding 100 and drawing one more name until we get a winner. Hopefully you figure out how this works, right? If you want to be in on this and you're not in BDC, go to www.blackdiamondclub.com. That's how you get in on this. A mere $99 a month. We draw your name. You might win. You could win a whole year's worth of Black Diamond Club by getting
Just
in on
showing
this.
up.
I also want to remind people, as people are just rolling in, love seeing everybody jumping on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for jumping in on this. We just are coming off of Money Matters, as you said. We're gearing up for Marketing Matters coming up November 3rd and 4th at the luxurious Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami Beach, Florida. We would love to have you. Same thing. Go to www.blackdiamondclub.com. Get registered. Space is truly limited. If you've seen us on social media, Money Matters, complete packed house, amazing special guests, including Michael Chandler, a soon-to-be UFC champion after he takes out Conor McGregor and then fights for the belt. Man, it was an amazing, amazing event. A good time was had by all. We would love to welcome you at the Fontainebleau, November 3rd and 4th. We're going to be talking about all things marketing. We already have our special guests lining up. It's going to be an absolute amazing event.
Well, and I think what's really important is the same way that we talked about adapting your mindset and some of the strategies when it comes to money to grow and scale your business through the recession. We're also going to be talking about how to adapt and change your marketing, right? And it's not just like a normal marketing event. You think I might have heard that stuff before. Things need to shift and change going into this. And we're going to be addressing all of that at Marketing Matters.
Last thing, we're not going to be on here all night, but listen to me. If I see 93 Black Diamond Club members on this right
95.
now, 680 names in this canister. There's a good chance we roll that $300 over to next week.
Ooh.
Here's the thing. This broadcast is going out live to the world. Do me a favor. Get your gang of 5. Get your colleagues. Send this link out. Text people. Make sure that they subscribe and notify. We're not hiding this. This is a time when we have to be okay with sharing all of our information with the world. Yes, we do have Black Diamond Club. We would love for you to join us there. If you cannot afford to be in that, join us every Monday at 8:30 Eastern. We're going to help you. We care about you. We want to see you thrive. Do you want to know what happened today?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, not today, but over the weekend on Friday, we got the CPI announcement at 8.6%.
Right.
We also heard on Friday, we were announcing this at Money Matters. We were watching this very closely. That's why Money Matters was so important. So important. Consumer Sentiment Index from the University of Michigan slumped from 58.7 to a new all-time low of 50.2. You know what that means? For the world, when we ask people, how do you feel, the consumer sentiment about the economy, the state of things, the answer is crappy.
Yeah.
The answer is not good. I just don't feel very good. Consumer sentiment
not hopeful.
at an all-time low since we've been measuring this thing. Gas prices over the weekend tipped $5. Now, if you're brand new to us, if you're brand new to this, listen, on election day, actually the day after, because we didn't have a winner on election day, but on the next day, when we finally knew that Joe Biden was going to be the president of the United States, I officially publicly announced, because I'm not saying this after the fact, and I also admit where I was wrong. I said we will have gas prices by summer. I was off by a year. I'm sorry. I said we will have $5 gas prices by $5 a gallon by summer. I was off by a year. 1 year later, we finally crossed that $5 threshold. The S&P 500 today entered official bear market territory, dropping 3.9% as 495 of the 500 components closed down. Incredible. Bitcoin dropped below 23,000, down 66% from its all-time high in November. The Dow Jones dropped 876 points today. The NASDAQ is down 530 points or 4.7%, 33% down from its November record. Here's what this means.
Well, I was going to say, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like people are already panicking.
People are panicking.
They haven't officially called a recession.
Well, that's what we're waiting for. And we discussed this. We cannot officially enter into a recession, at least until July of
Right.
this year.
Has
That
to
will
be
be the
two consecutive
first time,
quarters.
yes, that we could possibly enter into a recession by official qualifications. And my question for everybody that's watching is very simple. We believe that we will be in a recession, that we will get the announcement in July. Now, if we don't, we would get it then going into Q4,
Right.
right? Some people are saying, look, let's not get all wild here. It's not coming until 2023. Let's even concede that. Let's concede. Let's say okay, we don't get it until 2023. My question to all of you, even with the data that I just read to you, the reason why we are not officially in a recession is because a recession has a series of criteria that must be met. GDP going down, employment, a lot of production,
And they've
production,
actually added additional indicators there,
making it harder.
making it harder so that they don't have to announce it.
But the
after 2
question really
quarters.
is this:
Yep.
whenever they announce it, were we in a recession today on June 13th? Right. Just because we hadn't ticked the boxes,
Right.
because of the time continuum, were we in a recession today? And the answer is yes. We were there. We just hadn't crossed the time threshold to make it official.
Correct.
And the economy is acting that way. The investment world is acting that way. We're seeing a sell-off. Now, the other thing that I want to make sure that everybody understands is that when we see, for example, Bitcoin being down 66% from its November high, if you were a heavy Bitcoin investor and you had not hedged, so you were just in a wallet holding Bitcoin, you have lost 66% of your valuation.
Correct.
Now, if all of your net worth was in Bitcoin, you've lost 66% of your net worth. Now, if all of your retirement or all of your net worth was the NASDAQ, you lost 33% of your net worth since November, right? Just shy of a year, 9 months, you've lost 33%. People are losing net worth. They're losing what they had. And so what they're doing, yes, now we enter into panic. And they're like, look, if it's going to keep going down, I'm going to keep losing my net worth. I need to sell so that I can recover, cut my losses. But it also cuts your gains, right? So now I've admitted a loss and I've cashed out, and now I have less money than I had 9 months ago. And then I start being worried or conscious of my spending habits.
Well, I think really important just for anybody out there that did have money in crypto or had money in the stock market. We talked a lot this morning, you and I, and about reframing the mindset around this, because one of the things that was talked about at Money Matters was timing and risk tolerance. And typically, if you're going to put your money in Bitcoin, you know that there's high risk associated with it. And if you're putting your money in a retirement fund, that means that you probably didn't want to take it out tomorrow. And so reframing the fact that you weren't trying to pull that money out and you were in it for the longer term game, if that's the reality, then don't worry about it right now. Right? Because if you're in it for the long haul, things are going to change and shift again. And I think that's really important to recognize momentarily as these things are happening. And maybe for the next couple years, it'll be down. But if you were in it for the next 10 or 20, you're going to be just fine.
Well, and that goes, when we talk about timing and risk tolerance, the inverse is also true.
Right.
Which also, by the way, I did not have time to see if the yield market inverted. I believe that it did. If somebody could just check that for me, but I believe today the yield market inverted. That's another sign of an impending recession that we were getting that. I believe that happened today. It was really crazy, right? Like all of these things compounded. Perfect timing coming out of Money Matters for those of you that were with us. Not so great timing. Not so great timing if you weren't with us. You're probably freaking out, but great timing for Money Mondays. But here's the thing: timing and risk tolerance also says when I made the investment. When I made the investment, what was my timing and risk tolerance? Now, if I made the investment for short term, yes, I should be looking to get out. If I made it for long term, why would I change that? It still is a long-term investment, and on the journey, I'll have my highs and lows. The inverse, though, is also true, because I know a ton of people that were telling us, hey, Sean, Lacey, you guys really need to get into yield farming and staking. How come you're not really pushing this to your community? And honestly, it was due to ignorance. We didn't know enough to be out there telling you that this was a good thing to do. But then the people that were upset about it, they had made, apparently billions and gazillions of dollars. But now today, all of those same tokens that they were staking in yield farming they're down to almost nothing. Now, some people could see that as a loss. People do this all the time. Like, well, let's say that I had an investment of 100,000 and then it became worth 200,000 and I decided to cash out due to my timing and risk tolerance. And after I cashed out, the investment doubled again. And so some people think on the inverse, like, man, if I hadn't have sold that stock, or if I hadn't have sold those tokens, if I hadn't have gotten out at that time, I would be worth so much more.
Right. And
And they perceive
regret.
that as a loss.
Yeah.
So the same thing, that's not a loss. Due to your timing and risk tolerance, you exited the equation at the right time based off of your timing and risk tolerance. You were no longer willing to stake it for a longer time period, and you were no longer willing, your risk tolerance wouldn't support that, so you got out. So now the same thing true on the other side. As it's going down right now, you have to question and ask yourself, what is my timing and risk tolerance? That will help you or prevent you from hitting the panic button. If your timing and risk tolerance truly was, I bought this as a short-term investment because I honestly thought that when I put my money into the S&P 500, I thought that it was going to double in 48 hours.
Right.
Now that it has not done that, my timing and risk tolerance says that I should cut my losses because I was not in this long-term when I showed up. You really need to ask yourself and all of these things, what was I doing before you hit the panic button, right? So that's on your own personal side of what's going on.
And
I'm not able to watch these fast enough
confirmed
either.
the yield market did invert today.
Okay, so we're inverted, and so we're headed right towards a recession announcement. That's what we've been saying for the past couple of months. Anyways, let's talk about what we do. We've been saying forever, we need to move up market.
Yeah.
The middle class, one of the things that breaks my heart, and one of the lessons that every one of you as a service provider needs to understand is that there are people right now that are extremely affected financially. There are people right now, I was hearing stories, this is so heartbreaking, but it is real, that they are buying gas no longer. You used to go in and say like, hey, put $25 on pump number one.
Right.
Now they're saying put 4 gallons on pump number one. And the reason why is because they have calculated that they need 4 gallons of gas
to get where they're trying to go for the week or whatever. Yeah, back and forth.
Because that's how much money they have. They have no margin to drive extra, and they have to pay what it is, right? So no longer can you just say $25. You need 4 gallons. They know how many gallons they need. We live in this market today, or this world today, where baby formula is scarce. Right. Some people can't even find baby formula. That got brought up a little bit this weekend as well. So let me tell you the solution. It's not going to be popular. Once we launch this video public, I'm ready. I'm open for all of the comments. But the solution to this is for you to become extremely, extremely wealthy so that you can help those people. That's the solution.
That's a popular solution.
It's a popular solution. With these guys now, live people are going to say, yeah, it's the after people that are going to be on my haircut, my shirt, and what I just said. I get it. But here's the solution, is for you to become extremely, extremely wealthy so that you can give back. Remember what we said. You've got to become a phenomenal receiver. You must become great at receiving. You must acknowledge what you have. Be abundantly blessed and have gratitude for it, and then set it free. I'm also going to get the snarky comments. How much money are you giving away? We're giving away a lot of money. We're starting with $300 to complete strangers tonight. Then another 100 next week, and another 100 next week, plus the $20,000 we gave away this last week. We're giving. We're helping people, and we're going to talk about that. But you have to be first acknowledged, because some people will have the desire to say the way to fix this is for me to become like them.
Right.
Is for me to start giving away my services. For me to start running recession specials. For me to cut prices. That's how I can win. And that's actually the reverse. That's you becoming one of the needy people. The way that you can win is to tune in every Monday, develop a super strong business, become wildly successful, and then, and only then, help those people who need your help.
I mean, honestly, you can help more people by becoming wealthy than cutting your prices. That's
Absolutely.
just the reality of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's how you've got to view this. So let's help people.
Yep.
To help more people.
And I think
to make a lot of money.
We talked a lot about at Money Matters also how you can help people. So maybe going and buying their gas or buying food. And I think Paula posted that in the BDC members group, that she was actually going to buy gas gift cards and hand those out to people that were having issues or struggling with paying for gas.
For those of you watching live, if you've never listened to a BDC podcast, I have the notes. Lacey doesn't. She gets super ahead of us. That was one of those. Let's help people. Ready? Here we go.
Let's go.
Okay. So first of all, topic of this week, helping people. That's the number one thing that this needs. In the face of all of those mess of today and late last week,
Mm-hmm.
you know what the world's looking for from you? They're looking for help. The world right now, your community, your local community needs a superhero. All they're getting is bad news, bad financial, economic news. They're looking for a superhero. And I know you provide a service. You're a dentist. You're a psychiatrist. You're a massage therapist. You run a beauty salon. I want people to buy my stuff, but that's not the formula.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about your stuff when they cannot even figure out how to get baby formula or gas. Now, some people can buy your stuff, but I'm going to tell you the route to that is you go out and help the people that are in need, and the people who have are going to take note. That's the formula. You go out and help the people in need, and the people who have are going to take note. Two things are going to happen. They're going to be empowered to join the cause, right? That's the way. We're going to win this through love, which is people are probably like scratching their heads now. Like, what is Sean saying? That's not a Sean principle. We're going to win this through love and gratitude and joy and abundance, but we've got to empower people. You can't do it alone. That's a big message.
When I was going to say, if you have a what we call gang of five, where you have a group of individuals that you work with and collaborate with in the community, you guys can do this together, right? And you can give even more.
Absolutely.
There's power in numbers.
So I'm going to empower other people to join with us, people who have joined on boards. Secondly, when the people who have, when I'm thinking like, man, I really love what James is doing. So James is doing benevolence, helping people. And I'm like, I really love what James is doing. I want to get on board. You know, the number one way that I know how to get on board is support James. Right. So I figure out, what does James do? Well, James is a barber. Well, I'm going to give my business to the guy who is supporting my community that I live in. Right. I don't need help. I don't need baby formula. I don't need gas. I don't need groceries. I've been blessed. But if he's helping people, and I appreciate those people might even be my family or work for me or my neighbors. I want to begin to support those who are helping. That's the formula that we're going to teach you.
Go local. I love it.
Go local. So first of all, do not panic. Number one rule, do not panic. A lot of us work in the healthcare space, especially in neurology. Look, you cannot enter into fight or flight and survival. When you enter fight or flight or survival, your discernment and your ability to make decisions is gone because you can only think of surviving. You make rash decisions. You will pick up fire. You will pick up cars. You'll do silly things.
Decisions.
You become very reactive in the face of your thought that you are about to die.
And most of you know, anytime that you've reacted to something, it doesn't turn out well.
So do not panic. One of the things I love is that people in crises, great leaders in crises, they know, literally, they talk about this. They know how to slow down time. You'll hear great athletes, and they're not in crises, but great athletes, when in, pressure situations, they say the game slows down, right? That's our tip for number one. I understand. Sean, are you seeing what's happening in all the markets? Did you see what happened in Celsius? Are you seeing what's going on with the interest rates? Are you seeing what's happening with gas prices and food prices and oil and gas? Yes, we see it, but we're not ignorant to it. We acknowledge it, but we're slowing down time. We're not being reactive.
Well, and that's important because when you are reacting, it's the situation controlling you instead of you controlling the situation. That's how we make bad decisions. That's what we're trying to help you with.
Number two, next, you control your business decision making. So you think about the decisions that you're making, and what you do is you slow down time and you control them. You do not make rash panic decisions. That's what is leading the sell-off. Oh my gosh, we just got to sell. Oh my gosh, I need to cut this. Oh my gosh, I need to change that. I'm going to fire that person, right?
I'm going to let this go. I'm going to stop doing the things that serve me.
Number three, you must be very cognizant of protecting your voices and environment and utilizing discernment about what you're allowing to enter into your mind. So yeah, I mean, I get it. We just read off all of these things that are very negative. A lot of people have told us as we were prepping for this, and I'll admit, we were using doom and gloom to prep you, but we used doom and gloom in a period that everybody thought that they were in prosperity. Now is not a time for doom and gloom. Now is a time for action. And we want you to understand that every Monday when we come on and we share with you what is going on, this information is not to depress you. It is to promote and protect, right? David, good friend and mentor, talks about how the universe will always promote and protect you. I want everybody, again, I'll take the comments. I'll take negative comments, but if you're on with us live, 131 of you right now on my screen. If you're on with us live, I want you to think about this. How is the $5 a gallon gas promoting and protecting? Because it is. You just have to be able to see it.
Mhm.
It is promoting and protecting me. What is it promoting me to? Well, I think it could be promoting a lot of us to step into our own greatness, our own abundance, and our own ability to actually help serve our own community that we grew up in, that our kids go to school in, etc. And it is also protecting me. And what is it protecting me from? Like, what is it doing? It's keeping me potentially, if I do this right, it's keeping me from making silly decisions. It's keeping me from being one of the affected.
Mhm.
It's keeping me from making decisions to sell off my entire portfolio. It's keeping me from closing my business because it's creating an awareness that has me watching this very video right now so I can begin to make decisions. I'm being right now actively protected and promoted by this information. I'm not being doom and gloomed. I'm not being scared. I'm not being moved into depression or panic. I'm just being protected and
Mhm.
promoted. What do you want? What's the signal? Just say it.
No, what?
Okay. Next, this is your actual homework for this week. I want you to identify your 5 drivers. Talked about that this weekend as well. What are the 5 main areas that drive your business? Where do you receive your revenue from? If you can identify your 5 drivers. So, where does the revenue come from? Do they come from referrals? Are they coming from Yelp? Are they coming from social media? Or where is the revenue being driven from?
And then make sure that when you do that too, to look at it a little bit more microscopically versus just surface level. If you say referral, identify who are the top referral givers into your practice. Don't just say referrals. If it's social media, what kinds of ads are actually driving revenue?
Right.
So make sure that you understand those on a more microscopic level than just the big, buckets.
And lastly, do not, this is our advice for this week. Do not cut the drivers. Those are non-negotiables. Those are where you're getting your revenue from. Instead, we want to
Put more
cut
into them.
cut the fat, cut the superfluous stuff, and put more into the drivers. I
Yes.
want to reallocate money from silly things into the driver. Let me tell you what happens. So 2 things, two mindset protections for this week. When you hear information that scares you and causes you to enter into a sympathetic state of survival, you will be tempted to do 2 things. These are 2 things in business that I want you to be super conscious of. This is when you know you need to reach out to a colleague and say, I want to talk. Number 1 is I was contemplating cutting my prices. I was driven by the world to have a thought that maybe what I should do is cut my prices, in effect, cut my revenue, right? Number 2, number 2, I was contemplating doing some crazy thing because I saw a Facebook ad or I heard from a colleague that XYZ thing was super good for them. I started to chase a magic bullet.
Mhm.
In a downturn economy is not the time for you to hit the panic button, do something wild and chase a magic bullet because you saw an ad that made a promise of 100 new clients in a week, or your friend down the street said, "Hey, look, we're making a promise of 100 new clients," or this is working great for me. And in fact, what I said is, tell your friends to come on this. This is free and we're not promising anything. We're actually trying to help you with your business fundamentals, and we're going to do this every single week with no promises of magic bullet, promises of hard work, promises of getting your mindset right, and promises of guiding you through smart decisions so that incrementally we can continue to grow your business throughout the recession. Now, in other weeks, we'll talk about all of the ways that you can grow a business during a recession. We have plenty of content and things that we're going to talk about each and every week, but that's what we have for this week. Should we do the drawing?
We should.
All right, let's recap everybody here with $300 we're playing for. We have the names of every single Black Diamond Club member in this drum. Every single 680 of you, 680 names are in this drum. We're going to bring up Tristan Schaub and we're going to draw out 3 names. When we draw your name, we're going to announce your name and you will have 60 seconds to reply with word.
And we know they're a little bit delayed, so don't worry. We're going to keep an eye on this.
You're going to have to reply with the word twisty. If your name is called, you will reply. You will comment twisty. You will comment twisty. If you can comment twisty, and then in the 60 seconds after your name is drawn, you will win $300. $300. Please do not catch my hair on fire.
Oh man.
Okay.
I feel like that was a bad
Okay.
move.
Yeah, that was.
He doesn't have hair.
Oh,
Okay, put that one back in. Scramble it all up.
Scramble it up. Twisty, don't look. Just dive in.
Okay.
Dive in.
Ready?
First name.
You can't say twisty
You
yet,
can't say
people.
name.
Oh, this is a good one. She just did a great.
Amy Spolstra. Amy
Oh.
Spolstra. You got 60 seconds, Amy
She's not
Spolstra, to
on.
win $300. Amy Spolstra, you are the winner of $300 if you can answer us. If you can write
If you
the
can
word
write the word
twisty
twisty.
in the comment box.
Ooh, people are like, "Where's Amy?"
Oh boy. Oh
Oh,
boy. By the
man.
way, we are
Does
going to
somebody have a
announce
timer,
we're going
Luke?
to announce we're going to announce the winners in Black Diamond Club. We're going to announce the Black Diamond
She isn't here.
so that if you aren't here, we will let you know that you were the biggest
No
non-winner.
one thinks she's on.
Nobody thinks she's on. We can see
And
who's
just
on.
so you know, we're gonna switch this up. We're not always just gonna pull names at the very end so that
Yep.
you guys can wait it
Some-
out and
some
try
weeks we'll
and
do it at the
jump
beginning.
on. Sometimes we might do 10 minutes of content, sometimes 15. So make sure that you are on. Oh, Amy, we're coming down. We got
5.
10 seconds left.
Oh, she's there.
Whoa, somebody messaged her.
Somebody messaged her.
How about that? Somebody was like, I'm going to help Amy
We're gonna
out.
have to change. This is good. We're gonna change it next time to 30 seconds because Amy cheated. But
She just
She
did
did
give
it.
a great
she
endorsement.
gave a great endorsement.
Yeah, she
Yeah, she gave a great endorsement.
the first name
The
called.
first name
we
called
have
was
a
there.
winner.
Next week we're gonna do $300 again.
So,
We're
yep.
doing $300. 3 names called. We're going to change it. We're gonna have to change it down.
She
because
was
that
on.
gave Amy
She
time.
said
was
she could
actually
not
on.
figure out how to type it in, and she came with what, like 4 seconds
Yeah, she
left.
literally had 4
Literally
seconds
by the skin
left.
of her teeth.
If
4
she was
seconds.
legit on, I feel good about it.
Good
Good
job,
for you,
Amy. Congratulations, Amy.
Love it. Next week, we're going to draw 3 names, $300. Please make sure that you hit the subscribe button so you know when we go live. Make sure you click on that bell, the notification, so you get notified. You don't want to miss your chance to win money. We might even start giving away more prizes.
Maybe we can give away other
Lacey and I
things.
have been abundantly blessed, and we want to be able to give to you, and we want to be able to help you, and we super appreciate all of you that are jumping on. Please make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell,
and do
every
your
Monday,
action item.
and do your action
Don't forget
items.
about your action items.
Do your action item. We would love to have you. If you're not yet a member of Black Diamond Club, go to www.blackdiamondclub.com. We would love to have you there as well. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, Golden State Warriors, Celtics tonight, I think right now. And so we should probably get out of the way because a bunch of you are probably jumping off to go see Steph. My prediction is Golden State Warriors win tonight. I think they lose next game. And then they have to close it out at home. Game 7. I think we get 7 games. Warriors in 7. See you guys next week on Money Monday.